We've all had the experience of working on something with a looming deadline, an essay we waited too long to start that's taking longer to finish than we thought it would. As the deadline creeps closer and closer, we start to tighten up and we make mistakes. Somehow we get the assignment done and turn it in just on time. If you're anything like me, you don't want to go back and look at your essay because you know it's not your best work. It's a common belief that we produce our best work when we're trying our hardest, but that really isn't the case with our deadline-eminent essay. We're acting with 100% effort, yet our work is subpar. This phenomenon was noticed by a coach of Olympic sprinter Carl Lewis. Traditionally, in the 100-meter dash, the race was won in the first 40 meters. Lewis would often fall behind early, only to breeze past his competition in the latter portion of the race. The coach looked at photos of Lewis and other sprinters at the last 30 meters of the sprint. While other sprinters' faces would scrunch up, Lewis stayed exactly the same. His key to success was the relaxation he maintained throughout the race. The coach called this phenomenon the 85% rule. This rule is found everywhere in sports. Usain Bolt fist-bumping volunteers before winning a gold medal, or the coolness of Steph Curry as he knocks down a three-pointer in the NBA Finals. Fortunately, this rule isn't limited to sports. It can be applied to any engaging activity. This rule is counterintuitive, but clearly there's something about trying at 85% capacity that produces better results. I think it's because that extra 15% gives us space to think, adapt, and assess our work without being mentally strained. For as long as I can remember, every time I engaged in activities like reading or studying, I forced myself to put in 100% effort. I had a similar fate as the sprinters who raced against Carl Lewis. I would get anxious and my performance would dip, as well as my enjoyment. This unpleasant stress from pushing too hard would often cause me to say screw it, and I would start to procrastinate. When I started applying the 85% rule, my performance increased, and procrastination was a lot less attractive because I was actually enjoying what I was doing. The 85% rule is great, but it's a little tricky to apply because it's more of a mental shift than a tangible practice like working out or reading a book. One mental practice that's helped me apply this rule is a procrastination trigger. When I feel the need to procrastinate, I ask myself, is the stress from trying too hard the reason I want to distract myself? The answer is almost always yes. So I take a couple of deep breaths and I re-engage with the activity, but this time I come from a place of curiosity and ease. I make the mental shift of treating my work like a challenging game instead of a stressful problem. This practice works most of the time, but sometimes when I'm especially stressed from trying too hard, the urge to procrastinate keeps coming back. So I remove myself from the working environment and I do something physical, like watering my plants, taking a short walk, anything that helps me detach from what I was working on. I feel more recharged after doing something physical instead of high stimulation entertainment like social media. I feel just as stressed when I get back to work after indulging in social media. There's just something rejuvenating about physically removing myself from the working environment for a short break. The 85% rule isn't restricted to things that we traditionally classify as work. When I'm gaming and I'm doing worse than I normally do, I try harder. I just do worse and I have less fun. What the fuck? But when I sit back and don't care how good my kill-death ratio is, I magically do better and I have a lot more fun. I think a big reason that trying too hard often leads to mediocrity is attachment. Caring about things we find meaningful is a great quality to have, and it's not the problem here. But when I feel like I need a certain result to happen, I start trying too hard, which ironically prevents my desired result from happening. Attachment takes our energy from the work itself and moves it to ruminate about a potential result. Attachment adds pressure that doesn't have to be there. On top of that, holding our happiness hostage until a certain result happens is probably not a great idea, because that's a never-ending loop where we find ourselves never being satisfied with the journey itself. When I make the result secondary to the process, I free up mental space. It's that 15% that comes from applying the 85% rule. This space allows me to do my best work from a place of ease and calm. I don't have an anxious dependence on any result, so I can enjoy the process of working on what I find meaningful. If you're still watching, you've watched over 85% of the video. Puns aside, thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me grow this channel. You can check out my other videos here, and I'll catch you on the next one.